What's up, everyone? Today's wine text is the Apa Sauvignon Blanc from Martinborough, New Zealand in the 2017 vintage. So we talk about specific wines in the wine world, or grapes specifically, and Sauvignon Blanc is one of the most common and most well-known grapes that really grows in all the major continents where wine grows well. So this one, being from New Zealand, is one of the more, I wouldn't even say up and coming anymore, because I think maybe 5-6 years ago people were saying that New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs are up and coming. I think they pretty much solidified themselves as one of the best producing regions in the world when it comes to the grape. One thing about Sauvignon Blanc, different from some other grapes that might commonly know, like Cabernet and things like that, I think Sauvignon Blanc, more than most grapes, really attaches to the climate and the terroir that it's grown on. So in New Zealand, you get a much riper, kind of fruit forward, lots of that kind of citrusy lemon lime, a little bit of that stone fruit style white wine. Than other areas like Sancerre and in France, where it's very, very minerally. So 2017, good year in New Zealand, but these style wines, to me, the most important part is drinking them young and drinking them fresh. So 2017, a pretty young wine, and having a lot of acidity and a lot of brightness and a lot of fruit up front, while still being pretty dry. So yeah, let's get into it. So as you can see, the color on it's very light. I expect actually the aromas to be pretty intense, even though the color is pretty light. Right off the bat, I definitely still get a lot of that lemon lime, that peachiness, but there's a big green factor here. This jalapeno pepper, this kind of vegetal quality, that's actually pretty well known coming from the style of wines that they make in New Zealand. It is natural in Sauvignon Blanc, but I think it's a little fainted in Napa Valley styles or Sancerre styles, things of that nature. But in New Zealand, it has a very prominent part of the wine. All the fruits really come through the same. I think a lot of the green aspects there. There's a ton of acidity on this wine. My mouth's still watering. But I definitely get more of the terroir on the actual flavor of the wine than I did on the nose. I think the very intensity, the floralness of the Sauvignon Blanc on the nose kind of hides the fact that this has a really underlining kind of limestoney or chalky style. I know this is grown mainly on sand, but there's definitely this little mineral kick that comes through on the wine. Like I said, the acidity level is really high, but and again, this is meant to be drank really, really fresh. And I think this is a great, what we call almost aperitif style wines, things you want to eat, drink before dinner with light appetizers, salads, things of that nature that go really well with a wine like this. But also a really great kind of just hangout wine. You have people over, you want to open a bottle of white wine and know that it's good and delicious. This is a really good crowd-pleasing style wine. So yeah, Sauvignon Blanc, one of the most popular white wine grapes in the world, but New Zealand now has really made their name as making some of the best on the planet. And this is a great example for people. I know you probably recognize names like Kim Crawford, Oyster Bay, Cloudy Bay, a lot of the big names from New Zealand. Well, I think this is very similar. I think this wine actually has a little bit more of the floral aspect to it, a little bit more of this kind of craftier made style of Sauvignon Blanc than those guys make the really linear, really approachable, and really easy drinking style Sauvignon Blancs. So enjoy.